Hey y'all, good evening. This is the Dean of All Things Spicy with Conjured Vapors Peppers, here to do another pepper review. So, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I'm chasing a hybrid pepper. It's called Charlotte Knight. The seeds originated from a grower by the name of Eric Knight. He sent them to me in the F2 generation. He told me to chase out, select the phenols that I like, and someday if I want to, I can rename them. I'm not gonna. They're gonna say Charlotte's Knight. But yeah, I'm absolutely doing that. I love selecting phenotypes. I love chasing out colors, chasing out patterns, chasing out all the differentiation that can happen in a second filial generation or a third filial generation. In future videos, I will show you what happens in the F2 generation. Not quite in this one because, they're all jalapeno hybrids and they all look pretty similar. They're quite varied if you know what you're looking for. But with Chinense varieties versus annuums, so these are annuums, your jalapenos, your serranos, etc. are annuums. With Chinense varieties, you can have a massive look variation, and in a future video, I will be showing you that. Probably multiple future videos, but anyway. So this is Charlotte Knight F3, third filial generation. When you first make a cross, the pepper or whatever, tomato, whatever you're crossing, will be the exact same as the parent plant. Then the seeds inside of that will be the F1 generation. So when you grow out those seeds, that's your first filial generation or your F1. Usually in the F1, you're going to get a plant that looks where all the pods, all the tomatoes, all the whatever it is look very similar. But if you grow out, let's say, 30 of those F1s, each plant will look different, but everything on the plant will look similar. It's not until the F2 generation. So when you grow out those F1 seeds, you save the seeds from those pods or those tomatoes or whatever it is. Those seeds are now the F2 generation. So when you grow those out, you get the second filial generation, and that is where the magic happens. In the F2 generation, things just go wild. From what I understand, at least from talking with friends who understand the science behind it, it's that you can literally get any combination of any of the perennial generations going years and years and years and years back. So it's really, really awesome to me. It's like a Christmas morning every single time I see a new pod in the second filial generation. But with these being a jalapeno type, you don't really see a lot of difference from one jalapeno type pepper to another because they're jalapenos, right? And jalapenos look like jalapenos. But anyway, I digress. Show you this pod. This is the fourth phenotype that I will be reviewing from the exact same seeds from the Charlotte Knight that grew erect pods, jet black, on a plant that had white and purple variegation in the foliage. And when I ate the fully ripe pod after it turned red, it had a slight hint of bacon flavor. So here's try number 4 this year to try to get that bacon flavor again. The majority of my plants did grow erect. Most of them grew black. Some didn't. Some were variegated, striped, looked kind of sort of like a fish pepper, if you've ever seen a fish pepper. There is no fish pepper in this cross, at least that I'm aware of. But anyway, let's cut this open and see what it looks like. My handy dandy knife. Okay, this one is going to be intensely juicy. You can see all over the blade, just lots and lots of juice. The second I cut into it, it just started gushing out. So, yay, I'm excited. The juicier the better. I did not cut that open very well. So, looking on the inside, if you look close enough, you can see these little bubbles on the inside of the wall. Those bubbles tend to mean that it's going to be hotter than your average pepper. No guarantee of that, but that's my experiences over years of growing peppers. But anyway, she's a pretty jalapeno. Well, she's a pretty Charlotte's Night. But let's try it and see how it tastes. Mm-hmm. So this pod was not as sweet as the previous 3 Charlotte Night F3s that I tasted. But guess what? A slight hint of what I cannot describe as anything other than bacon flavor. Yay! It makes me super happy. You know, a lot of people make jalapeno poppers by wrapping bacon around them, right? Some don't. Some like to deep fry and put, either yellow cheese or white cheese in the middle. If you can't tell, I like the white. But anyway, I figure if you can make a jalapeno popper and you don't have to put the bacon around it, and it still gives you that bacon flavor, you've got a winner, right? Or whatever else it is that you're doing with this pod. So I would say this is a normal jalapeno heat level, somewhere between 3,000 and 7,000 on the Scoville scale. Not quite where I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be above 30,000, but that's okay. It had that bacon flavor. So a lot of times when the genetics play out, you might get some of the traits that you want, but not others. From what I've, again, been told by friends who understand the science behind it, that you may or may not get that gene that does that thing. You give up one for another. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I get all those traits in one pepper. So this one's going to be a seed saver. So this was plant number 318. I have to remember 318, so I'm saying it on this YouTube live, or not live, this YouTube video, so that I can remember. I'm absolutely saving the seeds from this and growing out the F4 generation. Maybe if I get all those same traits, but a hotter pepper, I'll be in business. I'll have what I'm looking for. But as you get further down the filial line, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, F9, F10, F11, F12, the pods become more and more static. The plant becomes more and more static. When you grow out multiple plants, they all tend to look alike. All the pods on all the plants tend to look alike. There is always a chance that a pepper plant, a tomato plant, any plant really, can just throw out something wild from its previous generations, from its previous parental generations. But once you hit about F8, it's usually pretty steady and stable, and then it's called an open pollinated variety. Open pollinated means that the seeds will grow true to seed. You'll get the same thing that the parent was. or at least very similar. So similar that you can't really tell the difference. There is usually a slight genetic difference, but that usually comes from, I think, the terroir that it's grown in, the atmosphere that it's grown in, whether it's a super humid environment or a super dry desert environment. But anyway, so I'm super stoked that I got that slight hint of bacon flavor. Hopefully the F4 seeds from this plant will have that as well, right? And have a little more heat to it. I'm happy with the jalapeno heat level. It'll make great jalapeno poppers for the family. Um, but I still want hotter. Anyway, this is the Dean of all things spicy. I'm out. Thank you for watching.